Sideline of goal. Lane Widow's doing it. They're gonna take. He's gonna bring down Bernie. Alone with a double kill. Dropping fast. Monopoint's there. He's still alive. Wait, Oshek is late. He's got one time. He's got a second. He's taking it up. They're overtime on three. They're all dead.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Summit 2 Europe by G2A.com. I'm LD.
And I'm Gods, and we've got ourselves a game finally.
The Davids are back, buddy. It's good to have you back in the house. You're healthy.
yeah.
You seem in good spirits, and, well, we're excited to be reunited, guys. This is not necessarily the most important match for Moscow 5. They're out of the running for the playoffs, Gods, but
Yeah.
for Secret, they look to secure their berth here.
Yeah, we get to watch PGG. That's why I'm happy. There are like a few players who I just, for whatever reason, like just really enjoy as people, and I would say like PPD and PGG are like two of my favorites. PPD just because of how salty he is about everything and how like he's like this bitter old man who just like whines, but he does it in a kind of classy way, unlike some people I'd say. But then PGG just for
Classy is a strong word. He doesn't do it in the most classless way possible.
Yeah. No, he does it in a clever way. Like he's very snarky about it. That's what I like about it. I guess not so much classy, but he's got some snark. But
Yeah,
PGG,
he's definitely funny.
very
about it.
different kind of personality. But still remember like TI2 the night before the first matches, and at like 3 a.m. he's out front of the hotel with like a whiskey in hand. And I'm like, dude, don't you have TI matches tomorrow, group stage matches for your team? And he's like,
I remember at TI2 because you got to go early because all the analysts went
Yeah.
early that year and the casters only came in for the last 3 days. Still sad about that, but yeah, you were like, yeah, PGG just messaged me. He wants to drink. I can't miss out on this opportunity. First time drinking with Russians.
that was like
Long night for you.
you have like stuff you want to like accomplish in your Dota career, and drinking with PGG was like one of mine. Like
Yeah.
at some point. Well, I mean, I've done it now, so I guess it's no longer there. But like, as long as I knew PGG back from like the Dota 1 days, and I always wanted to drink with the guy, so I got to do it.
I hear that. All right, so coming into this match, we've got Secret, who have only dropped one game so far on the Summit, so should they win out, they would be first place. As far as the remaining games for Secret go in the Summit 2, they still have to play the Balkan Bears Corleone, KPG, M5, and Virtus Pro Polar. So I think by most
That
people's
sounds damn
estimations...
easy.
Yeah,
as far as the other, I mean, not to.
They've got the easy half of the schedule.
Yeah.
Just based on results, Compass Gaming is 4-5, Balkan Bears are 1-9, M5, who they're playing right now, is 3-5,
Yeah.
and VP Polar is 5-4.
VP Polar are good when they're like on. Like that's definitely the toughest match there, I'd say. But
Yeah, they're now sitting at 6-1. Secret with a win here guarantee themselves a playoff berth. With 2 wins, guarantee themselves towards the top half of the standings. But beyond that, it's not so important how many wins you rack up in the group stage. Well, Gods, draft well underway now. Secret going for the first pick, Doom. Perhaps, or no, sorry, it was the first overall pick,
Tide,
Tidehunter. Yeah, and then they reply with the Doom Necrophos. So it's going to be a sad Tidehunter game, man. If he doesn't get that instant jump, if it's Secret who have the initiation, then we won't see many Ravagers. This one will come down to timing for both teams. It's kind of a game of takeaway, I feel. We see the Tidehunter taken away from Team Secret in the first phase, and now in the second phase, it's the Sven that M5 snap up. We've mostly seen this hero for S4 solo mid when Secret run it. Occasionally, Kuroki's played it with the No-Tail Wisp backing up, but nobody's giving this team Wisp nowadays. And when we see Sven otherwise, it's normally as like a pseudo counter to Death Prophet and Razor, just for all that bonus armor you get from Warcry.
Yeah.
But neither is the case here. It's primarily nuke damage from Secret thus far.
yeah, and even the bans are very like targeted bans, like the Mirana, which M5 first pick Mirana. PGG will first pick Mirana and just play support Mirana. Like every single game I've seen them play almost, at least their last couple of games. The Wisp, Brewmaster, kind of obvious bans against Team Secret. So Secret going to do something different, but I think that's something they'd kind of like to do in a match like this. It's not the grand finals of style out of here. Picking up a Dazzle, kind of just something different, something spicy. And you talk about armor against Death Prophet. They just picked Death Prophet into the Dazzle weave, so you can weave up your team, give them a lot of bonus armor, and that does negate a good chunk of that Death Prophet damage. Not to say it's going to completely counter the Death Prophet. I think Death Prophet's still pretty viable and a good pick here, because once you got the Exism off, you're not too worried about getting doomed or anything like that.
Yeah, Death Prophet is not the best Doom target, assuming she gets off the ult. Same with Razor. At the same time, the Dazzle pick is like, I view it as like a pseudo counter, just because it takes a while for the weave to tick in. And if you get an instant Blink Ravage, an instant Sven stun on 2 or 3, Scarlet Mage, Mystic Flare, and Death Prophet's on top of somebody, those heroes will die almost immediately. So Grave can help to keep you alive, but not if the Dazzle's silenced, not if he's hit by all this AoE. That's where Secret and their love of Force Staves, their Blink Daggers could well come into play, and just great positioning will be required of Puppey as well as Big Daddy here.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what S4's hero is, the last pick, unless we get some crazy solo mid dazzle, which was occasionally a thing in the past, but unlikely here. So Death Prophet's going to be... what do you want against... I don't think you have to go anything that directly counters Death Prophet. Burst damage is always nice because you want to bring down Death Prophet as fast as possible, so before Exorcism does too much damage, but we may just see some kind of vanilla puck-like pick here for S4, like we saw last game.
Yeah, he's played a little bit of Ember Spirit as well, which probably wouldn't be that great this game. You're up against the Scarlet Mage Silence, the Death Prophet Silence. Blink Ravage is decent versus him if you get on top of him. It could work.
I think it's okay for like the early to mid game with the laning. Like Flame Guard helps a lot against the Death Prophet, and
Yeah.
again, I guess you have no roaming supports. Like I think Ember Spirit needs to be picked when you have at least some hero can roam. The Earthshaker kind of can with like a fissure, long range fissure from Fog, and then you walk in with a Searing Chains Flame Guard, but
M5 actually banned out TA, which, to be honest, we don't really see that much, and certainly not against the Scarlet Mage Death Prophet, because Refraction just is quite useless against the Ghosts as well as Mystic Flare. So I don't really think Secret would have gone for that, to be honest, but yeah, I think
Probably
more
not.
likely your Puck or your Ember is the direction they're thinking. There you go. There's your Puck.
It's pretty plain, but I think it's solid. Like there's not really anything that stands out as something that'd be really good against the Moscow 5 draft. And for Secret, the key kind of spicy picks is the Doom to help prevent Tide getting the Ravage off, the Necrophos for Kuro. So
yeah, the way Secret wants to construct these fights is just Doom Tidehunter immediately, and then use some sort of other damage to bring him low, and then just Necrophos ultimate kill him. If they can do that, M5 will have a tough time winning the fights, but if Ravage goes off, then the fights could be completely different. So it'll just be a game of cat and mouse between those two heroes for me, and most importantly.
do you think this is a support Sven or a farming Sven?
It really could be either way. So, Core Sven does generally build tanky, right? So I think he's one of the better carries against a Doom. Also doesn't remove his passives. I guess it's a support now, though, with this Medusa pick.
Don't think it's a support Medusa.
I hope not. I've seen offlane Medusa. That was pretty questionable.
I think a Medusa can be played like with hard carry farm, like going for there was a Blink Medusa trend, not trend, but like a few teams tried it out, and you could go drums. But yeah, I don't support Medusa, no way. I don't know. So yes, M5, like these guys, all they do is just roam lots with their supports, and it's kind of their undoing most of the time because like so many games, like I'll see Moscow 5 up like 3 kills to 1 or something at 10 minutes in or 5 minutes in, but then PGG still like level 2 at 10 minutes as well because he's just spent the entire game roaming. So it's something that Team Secret know he's going to do as well. So they're going to be ready for the ganks, and even if a gank hero there succeeds, you know your opponents aren't really getting much far more levels across the board.
And honestly, it's going to be very difficult for Scarlet Mage and Sven to find kills. The heroes that they're ganking for, let's make sure we're not trapped in the draft, are not particularly strong at the early fights, like finding kills. Death Prophet, not a great ganker early on, or not a great hero to gank the lane for. Medusa, definitely not. Tidehunter, unless you're up against 2-3 melee heroes, which you won't be. And Secret have fantastic defensive support. So if M5 prioritize aggression too much, I think that could really hurt them this game.
Yeah. Defensive supports combined with the fact you've got a puck mid, like you can't gank this puck mid with these supports. Even with the Ancient Seal, the problem is you don't Sven has to be in range for a stun, and then you've got to get the Ancient Seal off as well, which is not exactly a very reliable initiation. And then, as said, defensive supports, TP in from an Earthshaker with a fissure. Plenty of options here. Smoke into the enemy jungle.
Classic M5.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, they might get backstabbed here. Big Daddy might also be the one who gets caught out. Let's see who's going to get the vision. Now they're about to be revealed. They're just out of vision of Kuroki. No Warcry, though. It's only a level 1 Sven, so you can't have both. And they do have that concussive shot if they want to skill it up. No,
I don't think Deuce is your initiator here, as the 1 arrow flies out and hits No Tail.
Concussive shot into Mystic Snake, dude. Next level. Yeah. So they are going to go aggressive tri-lane, it looks like. Oh, maybe not. Maybe they just leave the Tide bottom in the end. You got to have a skirmish, though. Blow your brain off the bat. Hasn't skilled anything. And PGG gets off the initial stun. Puppey hasn't skilled anything. Goes for the heal. Can't even use it. M5 just given a freebie. That was a completely avoidable death.
Yeah.
They knew there were 5 M5 heroes bottom, and Puppey just gets cocky. Thinks that he'll be able to get off that grave skill and use, but good
bit-
chain stun there from M5.
Yeah, very cocky. I think maybe he was thinking they knew there were 5 there, but maybe thinking they'd already backed off and he could contest the rune.
Okay, I say chain stun.
But-
It was 1 stun. Not even chain stun, just a Stormbolt.
Look, they chained that Stormbolt perfectly.
With auto attacks,
Yeah,
yeah, for
yeah.
sure. Well, little uncharacteristically sloppy play early on. Still, though, Secret are going to be difficult to kill in general. It's a really nice first blood for M5. Who actually got the kill? It was the Death Prophet. And they're going to go in on him mid with a Fissure to start this off. Now, Big Daddy can wrap around. Do not run that way, Vigas. You need to head back, but he can't really go there either, as S4 will end up getting the kill. Nice takedown for Big Daddy. I don't know how much of Starlighter you got to watch, Gods. I think you were mostly flying, but his Earthshaker was just absurd.
I saw a few clips of it, and it looked pretty beastly.
Yeah, not even just his team fights. It's just like he's always in the right place.
Yeah.
The early rotations, when his team's getting ganked, he's there with the defensive Fissure. He seems to find these Fissure blocks on mid to get counter kills.
Just plays like that, because often you'll see like a Earthshaker go for a Fissure block either in the safe lane or mid lane, but it's just like, oh, you did a bit of damage, but it was like wasted time. But he goes for it when he knows he's going to get a kill for his teammate. Like,
Yeah.
he's not wasting time ever. He's much more efficient than like most Earthshaker plays that I see.
So comparing our two off lanes right now, we're going to have the off lane tied for Tron, already level 2, has his boots up. And at the same time in the Dire off lane, we've got Secret Simba, who's looking for a creep. Unfortunately, he's not going to find the best one here. It's the the Hellbear Smasher, which is better now with the passive Swift Nasara, but still early on, Swift Nasara not that great. You'd rather have the HP regen, maybe the armor creep would be ideal.
Maybe could, like, with Skyreth not having boots, you could maybe like get a clap and
It's just
Go
so
for a
it's just
kill.
so expensive though.
Yeah.
Use one clap, one Scorched Earth, like you're pretty much done. You can't even devour at that point.
yeah. When he has his Tranquil boots, he can maybe put a bit more pressure on. Something Simba does that a lot of Doom players don't do is he almost always goes for that Orb of Venom too, which I for a long time I just never. I mean I get the reasoning behind it, but I never thought it was that strong. And I tried it out. It's like the problem is often when you Doom people go for solo kills is they kind of just get away and you don't get those extra few right clicks off. But the slow from the Orb of Venom means you're getting like 2-3 more right clicks, and it's often the difference between a solo kill or a hero getting away. So
And especially this game, since Doom won't remove any passives or buffs,
yeah,
you have Warcry move speed, you have the Death Prophet's passive mobility as well, with Phase Boots generally being the choice, and they're gonna be tough to bring down. But the Orb of Venom could help. It's not a full solution, but it's nice. It's just such a cheap item.
yeah, it's small things, and even if it
You get a couple
ultimately-
extra CS because you have an Oov and their harass back. Like it already paid for itself.
And end of the day, if it doesn't pay for itself, you lose like 135 gold when you sell it or something. It's like, okay, didn't work out this game, but hey, well, maybe next game it'll get me like a kill or something, which is worth much more. But
Looks like we have a quick pause here, Tron, with the disconnect or reconnect.
he seems to be back.
All good.
You get on it, LD.
Yeah, there's little mercy here for M5 as
Yeah, they copped the big time penalty on their drafting after being a bit late, and
that is something worth mentioning. I guess the draft's over now, but they didn't have as much time to think about their picks.
yeah.
That said, I still think their draft is fine.
Yeah, it's like the 72nd one, the penalty 2 is not crippling, but
Yeah, penalty 3 is pretty bad.
yeah. All right. Well, we're going to see the 2-minute rune come up, and Death Prophet would love this regen. Oof, just barely gets there before Big Daddy. And Big Daddy's actually in trouble, maybe. Luckily, there's no gush, so with boots first, he'll be just fine.
It's fine. Big Daddy's just fine. But it does allow Vigas to bottle up a regen rune, and that's a pretty big rune in this lane. Puck not the best harassing mid laner, but S4 with that early powerful start and the kill could have been out of control.
PGG's just so I think you caught that there. He just like war cries and like YOLOs in, hoping to get a stun. Like, you watch the way this guy ganks, it's just so random and unpredictable. And
It's
he
like
gets
playing
comes
against the
back.
puppy.
Like,
Concussive shot will
does
come through. They've got
most
the
random
arcane bolt
shit.
following this up. Simba is going to go down to the the Mystic Stake, not Flare. Yeah, wow.
this guy just does not gank logically. Like, a lot of what he does, you're just like, what is he thinking? But because it's so unpredictable, so often, like just there, he gets a kill. He used the Warcry earlier and messed it up, and then Fly thinks he's safe, but no, you're not safe.
At the same time, there'll be an offlaner trade as Tron does fall, but bit more out there was Tron. He was just ambling towards the enemy. Classic M5, just diving towards the enemy tier 1 to try and survive. And, well, with that said, we've got free farm on a Medusa, free farm on a Necrophos. One slight concern here for Secret is they don't really have direct solutions for Medusa, meaning they don't have any mana burn for her. And they have decent burst damage for tanks from the Necrolite ult, but if you don't get rid of her mana shield and you don't keep her down early, she is going to be tough to take down. They have Doom, I guess, but Doom's got other priorities. If you go on Medusa this game, then Tide's going to ruin you. So
yeah, Doom taking a bit of damage again at top, not going to be anything too serious. But yeah, I think maybe the Reaper's Scythe against Medusa, but even that, it's like because of the mana shield, you're just taking so much less damage. It takes a lot longer to get you down to that threshold. So I definitely agree that this is a Medusa pick done into a good draft.
Maybe we see a Necro book from Secret, but my personal favorite, from what I've seen teams trying to counter Medusa, the thing that's been the most successful is that Quaswex Invoker with an Orchid Rush. Black's been doing it for Vici Gaming. It just destroys Medusa. Like, you don't even have to have a great start. You just max out your Wex by, like that 12, 13, 14, 15 minute mark, and she's just food.
Yep.
And Nyx Assassin, but he's a little bit greedier as a support pick. We'll have a go on Simba top lane again, and he'll go down again.
Yep.
Just not much he can do this game, and they're not really setting him up later on in the jungle. There is a Wildkin there, but no stacks for him. He's still getting decent farm in the offlane.
PGG's figured it out, because the Observer Ward's in his tree, so he's like, I'll just flank him from the river. There's no vision in the river, and twice in a row he does... I mean, it's not really something you can blame Simba for. He has to try and get XP in the offlane. I think after that second death, he'll say, okay, I got to go jungle now, but it's tough for him. He wants to try and contest the Dusa farm, but he's just unable to do so.
Meanwhile, Kuroki going to push in your bottom lane up to 28 CS on the Necrophos. Staying close with the Medusa, but not getting fed quite the same way as Blow Your Brain. Already 2-0-1. And, well, for M5, not really stacking Ancients for the Tidehunter. That's something that I think Secret were particularly good at StarLadder, and some teams do tend to neglect, but it's one of the big strengths of this hero. To stack up the Ancients, then you can give the Tidehunter's lane to a support, which the Sven could certainly use, the Scarith could use, and make sure that you get your Arcane Blink or Mech in the mix if you want to go that route as quickly as possible. So, no Ancient stacks just yet.
Oh, 6-minute rune, and looks like M5 are going to get the top one, and Simba will get the bottom. So, M5 know Doom's not top, so they can completely abandon Dusa up here alone. We may see one of someone like Dazzle TP top just to leech XP once it pushes to tower, but the supports don't really need to protect the Dusa at this point.
I love the Secret. They're going to walk in 3 heroes bottom lane, then the Fissure comes through. It's too late. Big Daddy has failed. They first had secured the rune with the Doom.
Yeah.
Then Big Daddy comes in and is like, oh, I'll take this. And then S4 is like, no, leave it for me. And then nobody gets it in the end. It's PGG who claims it. That's a bit of a fail vote there.
PGG for you, too. I looked away. I was like, okay, they got the rune, and Death Prophet got the top one.
He just YOLO'd in. He's like, I don't care if there's 3 heroes. This Puppy's trying to check these Ancients. He wanted to ward this hill, I believe.
Yeah.
He actually failed a bit on the ward. Then he denies to the neutrals. Did he spend his gold? Yeah, he did.
He did this last game. I thought he was going for the cliff, but it blocks the Ancients.
I actually haven't... Oh, Kuroki going to get caught out here, and the nukes come through. He will end up going down.
Okay,
so
nice game.
with the death of Puppy, sure, he buys first, but it means that they don't have anyone to keep their Necrolite alive. Okay, so you're saying he's trying to ward the Ancients.
I hadn't seen this ward either. I got corrected by Twitch chat, so it does block, and that's intended. But last game, it was used, but not even needed because the team didn't even try and use the Ancients, and similarly, we haven't seen Tide try and stack it at all either.
They should have let someone else tank the Ancients so he doesn't just die.
I think last time he did it without even drawing the aggro. Maybe just messed up there, but
yeah, he got a beating from those Bruiser Ancients though. They're looking for this Big Daddy Fissure mid, but really nice positioning from Vigas. This is not an easy takedown mid, although they do have Coil. They do have the level 2 Waning Rift, so it might be possible. No Ravage as of yet. Can't really counter-initiate too well if you're M5.
Yeah, PGG's on the way though. M5 bringing backup in the form of both their 2 supports.
Well, it's a game slowing down a bit, I guess, after that hot start. 5 kills for M5. Now leading by about 750 gold, 500 experience. Not too much, and Simba is building towards a Midas, so if this game goes longer, then it will come down to farming efficiency, and overall, it's not really a particularly big strength of M5, I would say. They're more just about snowballing, finding those pickoffs. They go for the Fissure mid on PGG, but it's on the wrong side.
I really like the M5 draft right now. favor their draft in a lot of ways. There is the problem of the Tide getting Doom maybe, but we'll see
Coil.
engagement mid.
Coil onto Puppey at the same time. PGG takes a
Defensively.
lot of nukes from S4, who was silenced by her Scarlet Mage, but they need more follow-up. PGG barely surviving one more puck auto tech, not enough. The Warcry keeps everybody there alive, while in the bottom lane, Tron thinking about a go here. He's about to crack level 6. They have... He's just gonna...
What? That's a typo. He can't kill Necro on his own. No, he has no way of getting that kill without a TP in.
Dude, that's 2 in 2
What on
games.
earth? Yeah.
That's a perfect time to kill Kuroki, because they just showed 3 heroes mid. They didn't have a
I-
TP on your Earthshaker. Your Dazzle
Why-
had used Grave, so wouldn't have been able to come in and help.
I guess it's like who comes down to kill him. I think you need to bring in like Death Prophet though to kill him with the TP.
Yeah, I mean, Skyreth
Maybe
Mage was
Skyreth,
here,
yeah.
so like Skyreth +1. I think you could have gotten that kill. Well, it wouldn't have been easy, but did they actually see the Ravage? I think they might have seen that
so.
tentacle on the other side of the tree line.
Yeah.
They're gonna still try to make this jump. PGG grouped up with King R, but they don't have their Mystic Flare. Well, and 5 still lurking in the tree line.
Maybe pretending
What a
to
clowny
have
day it's
Ravage.
been.
Yeah, it has been. Mid lane, Vigos, he's all good. The phase boots the wand, even has 9 charges, so he was kind of just maybe trying to bait them in if they tried to get too aggressive there. But he's got a heal now with Coil back online.
Yeah, this ward is quite important for Sigurd, though. With the game slowing down, there's no ancient stacks right now. There's only 1 big camp stack. And M5 are great at clearing stacks. Medusa excels at it. Death Prophet's fantastic. Sven's okay if he gets a few points in cleave. And obviously your Tidehunter. Really nice
Yeah.
if you can rotate him off the bottom lane. But in terms of efficiency, it's actually going back the direction of Secret overall. As they now lead in net worth by 1,000. Experience by 250.
They're just like they're getting stacks. You can see Kura now killing a triple stack. Earlier the supports were killing a triple stack here, so I feel Secret just pull ahead because they like you said, they know how to be more efficient. Whereas M5 just try to go for these ganks, which works sometimes, but that's 3 heroes, including 2 core heroes, just to kill a support Dazzle. So is that even like it's not even really a victory for M5 unless they can get this tower?
Yeah, and for their lineup, they need to be leading on towers. See, that is not Secret's strength. They have a Necrophos to push, and that's pretty much it. Whereas M5, you're looking at a gigantic Death Ball, Warcry, a beefy frontliner, and the Tidehunter, the Death Prophet ult. Medusa, who's strong in these 5-man movements, though. She gets off her ultimate mid lane. That's going to force back Big Daddy. Almost enough to get the kill. That Mystic Snake doing a lot of work, but not quite sufficient. They do have Ravage in 10 seconds. I don't think Secret get a trade here, Gods. If they try to
No.
push, they're going to get destroyed by the Ravage.
No tower trade. I guess if they're trading farm, getting the Midas up on Simba. So Simba was really far behind. So I think Secret quite happy to just stall this game. They need the Midas blink on Simba before they can really. They're never going to take a head-on fight without that.
PGG could be very sad. There's an Necrophos ult. He
got the
wanted to
fog.
use it. He did a backup inbound, but now Ravage is at the ready. Is the Grave in position? Coil used, then the offensive Ravage, just barely catching Kuroki. That'll be enough to bring him down. While S4 starts to draw creep aggro. He'll just make sure to clear these creeps out. They continue their chase. Diving onto the Earthshaker. At the same time, Secret have brought 2 to the top lane. They end up getting the puck kill there. The Death Prophet goes chasing him down. And at the same time, they're still not defending. They've got Doom at the ready top lane. They do know Ravage is down, but I'm not sure you can kill Blow Your Brain here with the Mana Shield. Not easily, anyway. Well, this Mystic Snake, does he go for a tower deny? Nope, not going to attempt it. So they at least get a tower. Still losing 2 cores there. Puck bought or blink already, though, so pretty big for S4.
And Vigos gets a lot out of that with just kills, and he's got the tower at bottom lane. He's
And Roche
3
is
and 1.
open now, man. They've taken the 2 tier 1s on that side of the map.
Oh, they haven't got the mid one yet,
Well, okay, that's true.
but they can do so with
They-
the Nexus Exorcism Ravage if they want to, because I don't think Secret are ready to fight until Simba gets his blink. Maybe they try and go for like a smoke flank and then just have Doom walk on him, which is possible with a smoke. But, we'll see. I don't think M5 have to force the issue. I mean, they'll have the big ultis.
Yeah,
and wanna
no,
make
you're
something
definitely
happen.
right. They want to take the tier 1 mid first and then look towards
Yeah.
the Roshan. They also want the Medusa to get her first item, Blow Your Brain, just sitting on the Perseverance for now. But can close in on the Lincoln Sphere pretty soon. And it's a Medusa that's just been uncontested this game. 90 CS, sitting a solid 8K? Almost 2K up on Kuroki's Necrophos. He's only got 2,200 gold. Secret, still strong late game thanks to the Doom. You never want to count this lineup out, but at the same time, M5 are running a dual core with that GG button in the form of the Tidehunter later on. Actually, the double GG eventually. So I don't think you're too comfortable taking this late as Secret.
It really feels like M5 with their draft and the way this game has gone for the first 15 minutes. M5 are in an amazing position, but the problem is they're versing Secret, and you just feel like Secret always has that potential to outplay their opponents. But
Yeah.
if this was two perfectly evenly matched up teams, I would favor M5 to win this game like 80 to 90% of the time.
Like if you swap the teams in this situation.
Yeah. I really feels like the fact Deuces had complete uncontested free farm. Death Prophet's also really farmed.
Kuroki's in trouble here. PGG's got the Warcry stun ready to go. He's going to let it loose. Mystic Flare catches him out, and
Nice.
a great pickoff in the middle lane. Moscow 5. They extend their lead from 2 to 5 to 2 to 9, and they keep on pushing in. They still have their Ravage online. Well, in 1 second they will. So they've got it now. Your Exorcism also ready. Courier going to crash through the middle lane. Big Daddy wanted to enchant Totem Snipe it. He might get it on the way back. Throwing out the Fissure. It's not enough to get that Courier kill. Fly! It will fly. Can they stop this TP? No, not without a Ravage. It's actually a slight issue for them. They only have Stormbolt and Ravage as proper stuns. But most importantly, the tower mid does go down, and now, next time around, they can look towards Rush. And they saved Exorcism, so maybe they even go as soon as they push out this top lane.
Yeah. They'll have a level 2 Exorcism if they want to go for that Roshan. I think it's like getting Roshan at this point is like getting tower gold. The Aegis maybe doesn't do too much for him, but the money is nice.
And BGG just strutting up a puppy here.
Support Sven just trying to get solo kills. Like, that's PGG Dota.
At the same time, they leap in onto Tron middle lane. Secret hoping to force out a Ravage. That ain't gonna happen. PGG just YOLOs back in. He will get doomed for his trouble. Now chased by right clicks. And Secret, knowing that this is PGG, expecting him to be alone, will end up getting the kill. And they were right. He didn't have any backup in the neighborhood. By the way, Guts, they've gone for this Blink Dagger on Kuroki. He's going to initiate with his ultimate. Tron will not get his Ravage off. Thought he was going to potentially use it there. Does he buy back, perhaps? Mystic Flare coming through. Not the best placement as S4 just continues to walk out of this one. It's a really long TP. Nearly 5 seconds for Blow Your Brain. As they continue chase. They've got a Yule Scepter here on S4. He's silenced now. He'll attempt to phase shift. Doesn't make his way out in the end, so they lose their puck, but already Secret beginning to just maneuver around the weak points of M5. Now they rotate 4 top. They're going to TP 1 back to the base, and they're going to look for a tier 2. Playing keep away Dota when M5 really wants to be playing 5v5.
They're so efficient. They take a fight mid when they have just the right numbers to get a kill and force M5 to rotate in, and then top lane they're farming and applying pressure because they force the rotations towards mid. So they're just using their mobility really well. And I mean, you just brought it up. Kuro did go for the Blink Dagger, and I think it gives that added mobility, but so much of M5's initiation can be dodged with this Blink Dagger. You can get away from the Stormbolt, you can get away from the concussive shot of the Skywrath Mage.
That's a good point. Yeah, you used to not be able to with the Stormhammer, but it doesn't follow you anymore. You can't destroy, or you can disjoin it, I should say. So it could be a big deal. Also, it just lets him move around the map faster. And for Necrophos, well, mana can become an issue, but when Blink doesn't cost mana, then you can fit it into your build a bit earlier.
Yep.
Not too shabby.
You got the second Blink with Simba having his, Earthshaker trying to farm his at bottom lane, so it's going to be Blinks across the board for Team Secret. Or Puck as well, of course.
Yeah, and it kind of suits their draft where they just want to instantly assassinate someone. Like, ideally the Tide. I think they actually want to Blink on him, just with Doom at some point early, and then you just follow up with everything. Blow him up, and you can just look to retreat out. Maybe you do the same for the Death Prophet. A lot of M5 heroes, they get scarier and scarier the longer they live. As Big Daddy walks up a hill, Vigas there to greet him.
Yeah.
Not actually going to open the door and say hello, but he'll just walk away.
Big Daddy accidentally did a solo smoke. I think he was trying to alt-click it to group up with his team and tell him to come smoke in. He solo smoked and he's like, oh, what do I do? I'm smoked by myself. And
Well, if that's the case, then it's just one more misclick on a day of misclicks.
I don't see any other reason. He did he went to just scout Roshan and then, like we saw, just scout the high ground, found Death Prophet, and he's like, okay, my job's done. Smoke successful, I guess.
Camera's too easy if you're Secret, though. I mean, buying this many Blinks is not doing wonders for your economy.
Yeah.
They help you farm a little bit, but
If M5 are getting bigger items, like...
your Deuce is farming stacks. Tidehunter has the double Ravage that he can work towards. You're running a Death Prophet who's been largely unchecked. The 2 lead farmers are both on M5. If Secret want to go late, they need like a 6-slotted Doom. I think that's pretty clear.
Once again, Secret are blocking off these Ancients, but I don't know... We'll see the sentry on the Roshan cliff, but PGG find nothing. I don't know how much...
Full ward from Puppy. This is... I'm guessing this is not a common place to be dewarding.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the Nord's normally going to be up here. We saw the one that was in this region earlier.
I don't know if they noticed the Ancients, because they just killed the Ancients before that, so they may not have seen that it's blocked yet, but either way, they're having a lot of problems with this Ancient scam.
Well, they did drop a sentry, but yeah, that could have been just for the cliff ward.
Yeah.
And they're going to look for Kuroki now. Tron's ready. Oh, quick reactions there from Kuroki. Yeah, blink dodging the Ravage is the other big thing. If you can pull that off as secret, then M5 suddenly loses the majority of their team fight.
Yeah, to kill Kuro, they need to either like blink Ravage right next to him so he can't react, or Sven have a blink and use the blink stun from like melee range stun.
PGG off on an island mid lane. Goes for the tower tonight. Won't get it. Backup wasn't there, as M5 are just pushing in bottom lane. Free tier 1 for secret. It'll be a tier 2 as the trade, but with the added bonus of a PGG on top. Free kill on him.
Yeah, I mean, the PGG kills, it's kind of like sometimes the Pilot Eye kills. He's just giving his team space. They get a tier 2 tower, and you kill like the hard support of M5, so it's not the biggest of kills. We will see, attempted tower last year for Kuro at top lane, but
They're
nice
really
deny.
posting up here. This is going to force out the Medusa Stone Gaze as
Yeah.
Kuroki has a Blink Dagger in 3 seconds. He gets gushed. He can't blink out now at the same time in the woods. They've Cyclone the Doom, trying to control him, and there's your Ravage. That's on 3 to start. Big Daddy the follow-up. They chase in with the Death Prophet, but nobody on Secret dying just yet. They all continue to retreat. Concussive Shot comes through. Puppey will Grave and TP out. There's not enough stuns on this team. The Yules cooling down a secondary TP out. And now to the north, Big Daddy will scatter. He doesn't have a teleport scroll. Kuroki does. So they'll lose their Earthshaker, assuming that M5 can find him, which they probably should.
Yeah.
But that's not much, gods, for all that investment. Ravage,
Yeah.
Exorcism, you get an Earthshaker kill, and no towers, and no Roche.
I guess at the same time, Secret didn't get too much. Like the tower was denied. Secret also had like 4 heroes up there, so it's not like Secret distracted the entire M5 team with just 1 or 2 heroes. I think maybe S4 was farming, but like, yeah, it's a puck farming, so I think both teams would just kind of end up like, oh, we kind of wasted our time, but it balances out in some ways.
I'm a little bit worried about M5's lack of lockdown now.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what the solution is either, because who's going to build a... Maybe you get like a Yule Scepter on the Skywrath, but beyond that, there's just not much. As once again, a wild PGG. I thought he would back off, but he's going in.
He just throws these ultis, like... And now he's going to die to the Reaper's Scythe, I think. Yeah.
Yep. That's a 60-second death timer, while PGG
He's got
dusts off his boots and tries to get back on the battlefield here.
a very unique approach. Like, first hero you see, you've got to go for the kill. Pops the ultimate without second thought. Now we're going to see another attempted kill. King R, well, he's coiled up, and that's another easy pick-off for Secret.
I wish
so.
he would just play with his team this way more. Like, early in the
Yeah.
game, you can do this as one hero, but Secret are going to punish one hero just YOLOing around the map, especially if you're not, if you're not, like, in an ideal situation to get away with
And
it.
he's doing it on a hard support. It's not like you're
Right.
a Queen of Pain mid and you can actually get kills.
Or like some fat Ember against a team
Yeah.
that doesn't have any stuns.
I feel like if he wants to have this playstyle, he needs to like say, guys, I'm going to play mid. Not to say it's the most... I
he
mean,
he was playing offlane for this team, I think, when they first started.
Okay. He's
For a
played,
little bit.
I mean, he's played mid in the past. He's mostly been a
Mm-hmm.
support ganking player, but he's played mid. He's played offlane.
I think support is where he excels, but
Yeah.
this draft for M5 is meant to be played a bit differently. You want to be very systematic in your engagements, fight with the Ravage, fight with all the ultimates. Ideally, just 5-man as much as possible.
Yeah. Turtle for the Medusa. Fight with ultis and turtle for Medusa. Like that to me is as
That's
simple
the
as
game
the
plan.
game plan gets. Yeah.
And PGG's, his game plan is aggressively charging the enemy team by himself. His game plan is to be PGG. Well,
It
great
always
on him.
makes me wonder, like, is he playing drunk right now? Because like some of those things just like do not make sense, like for Dota players. He comes up with amazing plays so often, but then he do plays like that, which you're just like, huh?
Well, speaking of PGG, not that far away from his team this time, but
Yeah.
still always manages to be... There was actually someone did like a scholarly research article, a research paper about skill levels in Dota. Like I think it was MMR as correlated with how close heroes play to each other. And what they found was that generally players, when they tend to lose, tend to spend less time near each other. And teams that are winning, this is based on pubs, I believe.
Okay.
And generally when teams are winning, they tend to be closer together. Now, obviously, that's not a hard or fast rule. It's just like a general trend,
Yeah.
and there are exceptions where, you want to be split pushing, you want to be baiting your team, but at the same time, sometimes you need to be there. Well, they're going to go for a Roche now. PGG getting spotted out. They're going to have vision on S4, though, and they're going to immediately silence him. Nice Sentry Ward drop down. Mystic Flare follow-up. Now the Ravage.
Oh, the Grave on S4 though, he's still alive. He
For
gets
now.
the it's Yules will cancel his blink at least. I thought that was his Yules. If that was his Yules, he can then blink out. But
Look at that clap damage. Oh, my God.
that's it.
How many players have you seen die to that clap? By the way, Big Daddy going in for the dunks. He comes up pretty empty here. Now for the frantic TP out.
All right, he gets
Well,
out.
he gets out.
My
but
favorite clap kill was the
Aegis to the Medusa.
Did you see the C-Deck game where it was right? The patch came out in the middle of the LAN
I think I was
tournament,
casting it.
and then C-Deck lose the game basically because they lose, I think, an Ember Spirit to the Roshan clap, which does like a bazillion damage, and
Yeah, because it was like 40, 50 minutes in the game or something
Yeah.
crazy.
this was like the first game played on the new patch. Like it had just been implemented, like between game 1 and game 2 of a best of 3.
Yeah, I'd like skim the patch notes, but I don't really dig into them too much until the patch was live. And Cinder was like, "Oh, that's the new clap change." I'm like, "Wait, what? There's a
Yeah.
clap change? Oh crap, that was a lot of
And then
damage."
he's suddenly dead, and
Yeah.
potentially like not single-handedly lost the game of that, but if it didn't happen, who knows? Maybe they win. But that was, it was just funny. Like mid tournament patches, probably something.
The worst patch. I mean, I'm overall I think the patch was good, but the timing, the most questionable patch that I saw from Valve was the mid best of 3 patch,
Yeah.
where Tong Fu Old Boys won that like definition of an ultra rubber band Spectre game that frankly they should not have won. It was just purely 6.82 Dota in action, and then the Frog just patched
It's
it.
like he was watching the game and then was like, just tweaked a number as soon as the game ended, quickly tweaked a number and
He
pushed
wa-
go.
he was. He actually messaged me after heading to game
Oh
2.
my
He was
gosh.
definitely watching it. But Puppy gets silenced here. Nice job by her Scarlet Mage. Still, they need more follow-up to get these kills. Mystic Flare. Puppy juking through the trees. Gotta kill off that friggin' Rastafarian. The Dazzle still standing strong. Gets off the grave and looks to turn this fight as long as possible. Then they finally Necrophos ult down one. Kuroki picking up a double kill, while a wild Medusa strolls through the lane, gets doomed for her trouble. Very chaotic engagement here, all things considered.
Yeah.
They hold on to their Aegis, and they did not have Ravage, which is the big thing, but
the
they'll
Ags
finally
on
bring down the
Doom
Medusa.
is just like that. Doom was never ending. There was nothing Medusa could do except just wait to die, and we have to see if Bully Brain can even get out of this.
I thought he would just walk away to his team, but yeah, ends up getting trapped in by the fissure. And Aghanim's Doom could be a bit of a problem now.
That's
This-
your count. I was about to say there's no real good heroes to do with Medusa except an Ag's Doom means that's a never-ending Doom. So that's just actually really big DPS. And Doom can stay alive. Like Medusa doesn't kill single targets well enough until you start getting like 4 or 5 big items. So I think this is a pretty big pickup for the Doom.
Yeah, with that said, they lose their Aegis. Now they have Ravage. And this just goes kind of to where M5 struggle a bit with this type of draft gods. Like, a more patient team would have just waited until they have Ravage. Then they
Yeah.
go for a play like that. Instead, M5 commit a lot, don't have Ravage, give up their support lives. It was really good execution from Secret, a nice fissure, but like there was nothing forcing them to take that fight. They're the ones trying to jump it, and at the same time, bottom lane, they'll jump in onto Vigas here. He's got a Yule Scepter, but the Necrophos ult says, hell no. That's an Aghanim Scepter ult. That is 90 seconds with no Death Prophet, with the ult ready to rock and roll as Secret begin to mount a bit of a comeback here.
Yeah.
I say comeback. Technically, they were leading in gold, but it did feel like momentum was going M5's way.
Yeah.
No longer.
And even when you can doom this Medusa with the Ag Scepter, M5 had like the 2 most farmed carries. Before that kill on the Death Prophet, Dusa and Death Prophet were top 2, and they're also like the 2 strongest late game heroes there. Like they're better than any late game that Secret have. Like Necro's good late game, but I don't think he matches up to Death Prophet or Medusa. So even though M5 are behind on net worth, like the fact they have the 2 best late game carries in this game seems to be going to at least somewhat of a late game scenario is good news for M5. But
They do have Ravage ready to go. That was Tron is lurking on the high ground. Puppy gonna walk up into him. Do they go for the Ravage? No, they've got the silence for the Scarlet Mage. At the same time, S4 comes in, coil onto. Ravage was deployed. It did a decent job, but they've Doom Blow Your Brain. It's after he gets off his ultimate and turns on Sima, gonna try to shred him. He will. So they end up losing too. The Death Prophet still out of the game for 60. Well, it was for 65 seconds. Now down to 20. Man, if they had their Death Prophet up right now, which they would if it wasn't for that plus 30 from the from the Necrophos ult, they could be pushing for at least a tier 2. Instead, they blink it with Kuroki. Big Daddy got silenced, although he didn't have his Echo Slam at that point, so it wouldn't have been too bad. Still, a 3-for-2 exchange, counting that earlier death.
yeah, just
M5 fight well, but they don't take objectives, and now the Ravage is down.
Yeah, it looked like they just wanted to get the Ags Reaper Scythe kill, but it's only a support Sven. Medusa would have been an ideal target, but nothing to break the Lincoln Sphere with. So I think Kuro needs to get some kind of item. Maybe goes for an Atos just to break this. No, he's going to pick up a Mystic Staff, so maybe a Hex. Not that you want to be breaking Lincolns with Hex so you can Reaper. That's a very expensive Lincoln's breaker.
Yeah, let's see. They have 1 Force Staff on Puppy, but
Yeah.
generally you want to sit back so you don't get Ravaged, and then Force Staff yourself in to get off that grave in time.
The Medusa got off a really clutch Manta that team fight, because Doom went in, broke the Lincolns with level death, and was mid Doom cast animation, and then Manta was popped.
And that's also the change to Doom. It's got a longer cast animation
Yeah.
than what it used to have.
That's what allowed Medusa to get off the ultimate and just create that extra bit of confusion that delayed the Doom and got Doom killed.
At the same time, Kinar also great reactions there. He got that instant Mystic, Ancient Seal Silence
on Puppey.
when Big Daddy was going to win
Oh,
the
yeah.
Earthshaker. So, yeah, Vigas was dead, so it was definitely Big Daddy who got silenced, but
Okay.
or rather, definitely the Scarth who got the silence off. But yeah, that's still M5 using Ravage, not taking huge objectives. They are farming the Medusa though, up to 2,500 gold, and I guess in good news, they've kept Vigas down quite a bit more, but it's unnaturally tanky here on the Death Prophet. Is the Refresher anywhere nearby for Simba? Not really. I think M5 will have a timey window here, Gods. They'll have the double Ravage for Tron. He's already got all the makings of it. Does he have anything else? No. I thought he was
He's
closer.
about just as close to Refresher as Simba. It's
I thought
very
he,
similar.
I thought he was closer. Maybe, I guess he died again then.
Doom doesn't have to go Refresher. Something may see like a Shiver's Guard or something, but I think eventually, if this game's going to drag, you always want the Refresher. It's just a matter of if it's your next item or one of your final items.
Yeah, I mean, you have to Doom at least one of these cores and
Yeah.
the Tide. Ideally two.
Once the Refresher times comes into play, you want to take out Tide with the Doom. Even if he's used one Ravage, just cancel the second Ravage even.
And that is one area where M5 are a bit vulnerable. They don't have great defensive supports like Secret, no Fissure, no Grave, no Dazzle Heals, and no Force Staffs, really.
Yeah. I'm surprised
Just
Skyrath
two
went
Yules.
Yules. I really like the 2 null Force Staff on Skyrath, but he went for the Yules instead, which is... we saw earlier they had nothing to cancel those TPs, so maybe that's partly why King Hour was something like, okay, I need some kind of disable.
Uh-oh. Down in the river, S4 was caught out. He blinks south to the rune and then gets gushed. They're going to continue chase on him, but they don't have any detection, so that won't really accomplish much. Now S4 is going to look to turn this. He's got a coil ready, but not too much backup.
He's going Refresher, by the way.
Okay.
Double Ags Coil. That could be annoying to deal with.
Oh, Echo Slam here onto Tron. Now the Fissure follow-up. Massive nuke damage done, and that
Oh, no,
was with the
buyback.
Necrophos ult. 80 seconds with no
I-
Tide. Creeps are not really in position for a
I
push,
don't,
though.
you can't really. I sort of. They have no damage to go high ground with. Even with Tide Ravage taken out of the picture, I think Medusa and Death Prophet can just spam out the lanes with Mystic Snakes well enough, as well as the Crypt Swarm.
They're thinking about a jump in. PGG is going to get coiled along with Kinar to start this fight. The Fissure was there for Big Daddy, and they initiate on Simba. Silencing him up, Mystic Flare, bringing him down to below half. In fact, Blow Your Brains auto attacks almost enough to kill him off, but not quite. And they try to Warcry and chase, but Simba already up to the tree line. Roshan still not respawning just yet. Vigas really committing for this one, though. Can he get in range for anyone? No, he backs off.
That's Nexusm used as well. That's a big cooldown to be.
And now they
Thrown
might even
out.
jump in on the mid lane. Fissure's there. The silence goes in from S4 again. Doom was deployed. Blow Your Brain is going to continue his retreat out. The Mana Shield helping him to survive for quite a while. That is not disabled by Doom.
He's still full duration of Doom, so.
But, yeah, that's trouble. And they blink forward again. There's just no way to get this Doom off of him. He's going to end up falling. Now another Fissure on 2. Big Daddy with more special deliveries for M5. Slowly feeding their lives away as they get chased all the way back to the base. They're not even going to lose... well, maybe they do, actually. We'll see a tier 2 go down mid. Not sure if Secret can really go high ground, though. But
Yeah.
the gold is not looking so promising now.
At this point, Secret are like, we don't really mind whether we go high ground in the next few minutes or not. They may try to, because they're actually getting just... they're out farming M5. They're getting their refreshers up. Shiver's Guard up on Kuro now on the Necrophos. Doom's bought something.
BKB.
Yeah. Okay, so just have the answer to the Ravages and...
Yeah, now you can BKB, just leap in and Doom, and don't have to worry about that pesky Scarth Mage silence as well, which is a pretty big problem for him.
Yeah, he's
There is a
making-
refresher on the way for this Tide, but where I really worry for Tron is how many good Ravages have we seen this game? Like, maybe one.
Yeah.
And that's before the Doom really begins to focus him.
His early game he got a few, but like all these team fights since Secret have picked up their Blink Daggers, I've not really seen too much.
Well, he
in
also
terms
had
of
he also had a
Ravages.
doozy early.
Yeah. No, that was an unfortunate one. So 1400 or so before his refreshers up, and well, I don't know if it's going to be a big game turner because Secret are just kind of outmaneuvering Moscow 5 right now.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I feel Secret don't necessarily have this late, but that's assuming that M5 have big items on their cores. And with Doom way ahead of the Tidehunter like this, I just don't know. By the time that Tide gets his refresher, Doom is probably going to have Ags Shiva's BKB refresher.
Yeah. And the other thing, like, ultra late games, even though Medusa and Death Prophet are two of the best carries, these ultra late game fights are going to feel like 5v3, because PGG he's a sack right now. He's doing nothing. He throws Warcry, and that's about his only contribution to a team fight. His Stormbolts half the time are getting disjointed by Blink Daggers. And
Nice Stormbolt from PGG, though he threw it on Big Daddy. S4 jaunted on top of it, and still
yeah,
they lose one. And they're going to lose two, it looks like. PGG chased back by Simba. Creep Wave is cooperating. They blink in again. The Enchant Totem securing a kill. That was a great Stormbolt, but now they're in danger of losing the high ground push here. Or maybe if Secret going Roche.
You can't stun and then run out of the coil, because that's a 4.5 second stun. Normally you can just run out of the coil, get stunned, and then you've got enough time to still get away, but the Ags upgrade, that's some serious pain there. And S4's got refresher money after this Roshan.
Oh, baby. I have not seen a Puck refresher rush. I guess Puck has the monopole to support it, even without going Arcane Boots.
I've seen a late game refresher, like a refresher Hex Puck in the late game, but yeah, never like a Ags refresher.
Maybe there was one in Starlighter. Honestly, those games all ran together. We had some long days, but in general, it's fairly uncommon. They bring Roche to about half, and then they think about backing off. S4 continues to pain this out and says, no, we're going for this. There's no reason to stop.
Yeah, but when they see Death Prophet mid, I think they'll be very comfortable, because there was just too many heroes on the map missing. They don't know where Dusa is, the Blink Ravage threat, but they see Death Prophet mid and like, well, they can't really win a team fight without that Exorcism.
Kuroki, he's been fairly quiet recently, but has continued to farm. He's back on top of the Radiant, staying ahead of his Doom nicely, and, well, CS still down about 100 to the Medusa, but has the Shiva's Guard, another 4k gold in the bank, and we'll just see him continuing to tank up this game, likely.
Yep.
Maybe even works towards a Hex or something next. Either way, he's not really... You know, it's one of those games, like, the Necrolite is just kind of a cherry on top. He's not really the core of the team.
He's happy just like being whenever a hero's about to die, he'll just throw the ulti to prevent their buyback, give him the increased respawn. He's not really like using the ultimates to get kills they otherwise wouldn't, maybe, but
you can screw up a Necrolite game if you use it incorrectly, though. Like if you use it on a hero who's already popped all their cooldowns and is about to die anyway, or someone who just doesn't matter, like say the Sven, that can come back to haunt you. But that's where having the Doom really helps shore things up. So they can Doom one, use Necrophos ult in the other, and potentially have the second Doom soon. And they're looking for this jump in bottom lane. M5 already. Tron worms his way into the tree line. In Secret, they're going for the backline hero. Straight onto 3 is S4 with Kurogi by his side. Secret get the jump again. Although, Kurogi does get silenced. Brought down once. He's still got the Aegis, though, as they've Doom Blow Your Brain. And it's only beginning to tick down slowly but surely. Now Echo Slam for Big Daddy. Not enough to get these kills. S4 might be able to do it. Necrophos ult, bringing down your Death Prophet. No ulti, and now no Blow Your Brain, as he'll fall as well. Kurogi is godlike. 4 kills for Secret. Such good instincts by S4. Just ignores the hero up front. I think they even saw the Tide because it was daytime. Ignores him as well and just goes straight onto the 3 heroes on the back.
Yeah, were they smoked behind? I don't know, but they were mostly in fog. But S4 just like blinked into almost what looked to be fog. Maybe he saw one hero or something, but it's just like S4's game sense where he's like, okay, they're obviously seeing behind Medusa. If Medusa's hitting the tier 2 tower, she's not alone. We don't want to throw spells on the Medusa apart from Doom. They used Doom went on the Medusa, and the other 4 heroes all went for the backlines. It was just perfect Secret execution.
They can't buy back on this Death Prophet. She doesn't have Exorcism. If you're Secret, you can consider sticking around. You're also going to have another Reaper Scythe before that Death Prophet even respawns. Ravage, still not available for 90 seconds. Really not too many reasons for them to back off. Yeah. Simba will blink out. Puppey, with his ultimate, keeping heroes healthy for now. And he's building towards that Aghanim Scepter. And they'll continue again. Once more, up the high ground and onto the tower. Or the Rex, rather. Blow Your Brain. Taking chip downs. The one area where Secret do struggle is they don't really kill buildings quickly. But they're slowly attempting to work these down.
I think they'll get this range Rex at least. And maybe even just chip at the melee knowing there's no Exorcism. Speaking of Death Prophet, it will be a refresher ult though. But
what does that matter when you get Doom, though?
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't see a situation. I actually think it's kind of a bad refresher game. You
I
can't
agree.
buy back against Necrolite, so, like, what's the point?
Yeah, the buyback refresh is nice. Like, if you die in a fight, you buy back, and we will see another Doom come in, Blow Your Brain. You're going to get taken out of this fight, and he's got no buyback.
Well, he's not dead just yet. The Necrophos ult, that'll change it, but he didn't die while the buff was on him, I believe.
He's got no buyback anyways. Like, he just bought back in the last fight, so it's 90 seconds anyways, and...
Well, GG.
Yeah.
As quickly as that, M5, they'll tap out. Just Secret flat out outplaying M5 in the mid and late game.
Yeah, I
Showing
think
their veteran poise and good decision making as a team.
it looked like 15, 20 minutes in, M5 were in like a good position for their draft to kind of execute into the mid to late game, but their mid to late game decision making is just completely outclassed by Secret.
As you can see, guys, that's what's that, our second game in the books, I think? We've
Yeah.
got 3 or 4 more today.
I think 4 more.
All right.
Sounds right. Got a big
Cool.
day. Some good matches. We end the day with Navi Cloud9, and there's, I think, another Secret game in there, maybe? I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll have all the answers for you guys soon. Coming up next, let's just see if we can find that really fast. That's going to be Cloud9 versus Empire, then Navi versus VP Polar, and to round out the day, Secret versus Compass Gaming, and then Navi versus Cloud9. So
Okay.
4 more games coming up, guys. I think you're going to take a little snooze, get some rest. You were up all night. Only cast 1 SEA game, but had to stay awake to do it.
No,
So.
it was rough. I thought there was going to be more.
No, it's okay.
It's-
Guys, you can follow him at BTS Gods, myself at LD Dota. You're watching the Summit 2 by G2A.com. We'll take a quick break here. We'll return as action rages on in Europe.